All right, today we're diving into a really fascinating idea from Tim Ferriss. What if I told you there's a single, hidden nerve that's basically the master controller for your entire life experience? Yeah, let's get right into it. So, let's kick things off with a pretty wild question. Imagine for a second that your response to trauma, your day-to-day mood, even your basic energy levels, what if they aren't just random? What if they were all being heavily influenced or even controlled by one single physical nerve in your body? Well, it turns out that nerve is very real, and it has a name. It's time to meet your vagus nerve. The best way to think about it, it's like the body's secret information superhighway. It's the main line of communication that connects your brain to, well, almost everything else. What's so incredible about this nerve is its sheer scale. I mean, it is the longest of all your cranial nerves. It literally wanders all the way from your brainstem, down through your neck, and into your chest and abdomen. It's the main channel, sending a constant, nonstop stream of messages back and forth between your brain and all your major organs. And its job description? It's huge. This one nerve has its hands in pretty much everything. It helps manage your mood and anxiety. It acts as the brake pedal for your fight or flight response, telling your body when it's safe to finally chill out. It also regulates your heart rate, your digestion, and even the level of inflammation across your entire body. It really is a master regulator. So, okay, if this one nerve has so much control, what can we actually do with that information? Well, this leads to a really profound idea. What if we could learn to work with this system? What if we could effectively learn to turn our pain into a form of medicine? This idea really opens up a whole new frontier in well-being. And that's the core insight right there. Instead of just seeing things like pain, trauma, or anxiety as problems to be eliminated, this new perspective suggests we can use those signals as information. We can learn to actually tweak the system that's creating them, making the pain itself a part of the healing process. And, this isn't just some philosophical concept. Nope, this is leading to some seriously cool real-world technology in a field called bioelectric medicine. This could literally be the future of how we approach mental health, especially for things like treatment-resistant depression that don't respond well to traditional methods. This slide just lays out the shift perfectly. The old way was all about treating symptoms from the outside, often with general medications that affect the whole body. But this new frontier, it's about directly working with the body's core electrical systems, using things like targeted vagus nerve stimulation. It's a complete flip in focus from what's wrong with you to what you can actually control. Now, this is all fascinating stuff, but it raises a big question. How can we actually learn to influence our own nervous system? It sounds complicated, right? Well, to tackle a complex skill like this, Tim Ferriss proposes a super powerful toolkit for rapid learning, the DSS Mastery Framework. That stands for deconstruction, selection, sequencing, and stakes. So how does it work? Well, first up is deconstruction. You take a big skill, like regulating your stress response, and you break it down into its tiniest little pieces. Second, selection. You find the key techniques, that crucial 20%, like a specific breathing exercise that directly stimulates the vagus nerve, that give you 80% of the benefit. That's the classic 80-20 rule in action. Third is sequencing. You learn those critical things in the most logical, effective order. And finally, stakes. This is key. You create some real-world accountability to make sure you actually follow through. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory to read about. Think of this as a direct invitation. This is your mission, should you choose to accept it. You can take this exact framework and apply it to yourself, using it to literally learn the language of your own body and your own nervous system. So, when you start putting all these pieces together, what you see is a new future taking shape for mental and emotional well-being. It's a future that moves beyond just relying on pills and moves into the realm of true personal power. Let me just say it plainly. The future of mental health is electric. It's all about understanding and working with the electrical and neurological systems that are already running inside each of us. It's about using targeted stimulation and learned self-regulation to fine-tune our own experience of the world. Okay, so let's boil all this down. What are the big things you need to remember? First, your vagus nerve is a master control switch for your mood and energy, and it's a switch you can learn to influence. Second, these amazing new fields like bioelectric medicine offer powerful ways to turn pain into real healing and power. And third, the DSS framework isn't just a theory. It's a practical toolkit you can use right now to master this or really any other complex skill you want to learn. And that really brings us to the final thought. We've just talked about a hidden key to your own internal operating system. So the question this leaves us with isn't for me, it's for you. Now that you know the key exists, what door are you going to choose to unlock?